Hello YouTube, Winner0 here of WinnerXRaven, here with another deck profile. This time I'll be doing a profile of my Blue Eyes Dark Matter Dragon deck. The reason I call it that is because the whole deck revolves around these two cards, Blue Eyes White Dragon and number 95 Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. When this card first came out, I remember a lot of people were saying it's not that good anymore because the Dragon Rulers got banned and that it's going to be a useless card. It's really cheap, you can buy it like for 80 cents online. But I like the card art. I like the card's artwork, and I like the way it plays, and I like that it's a 4,000 monster, and I want to do something with it. And I didn't have any deck idea to actually bring this card out really fast. But then I had this Blue Eyes deck that I was working on. It was when I first got back into the game again, and it could bring out level 8s really fast. Well, you can bring out level 8s really fast to bring out, you know, Tachyon, overlay into Tachyon, and overlay this, and now you have a 4,000 monster. I do run 3 of this Exceed, which might sound crazy, but it works. I've had multiple times where I've had more than one of these, 2 or 3 even, and just in case one gets banished or something, you still have the other 2. It's a very strong monster, and that's why I based the whole deck to make these 2 work together and to protect this guy while he's attacking for game. It's a very aggressive deck. It's very fast, it's not complicated at all, and by no means is it competitive, but you can have a lot of fun, especially if your opponent doesn't know how to respond to a 4,000 monster right away. Then you pretty much can win just by doing that. Alright, so let's get into the deck profile of my Blue Eyes Dark Matter deck. Alright, we start off the deck profile with 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Of course, one of the main combo pieces of the deck. Level 8, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. You want to have this card out as fast as possible because it's easy to overlay these into Tachyon to get your Dark Matter Dragon out. And if you don't, even if you don't use it to exceed, if you just have one on the field, having a 3000 beater is really good because a lot of times your opponent, you know, can't respond to it. You do want to have him in the grave as fast as possible. That way we can use all the methods that we have to bring him out. So that's why we run 3. We just gotta have it. You know, it's a Blue Eyes deck. You gotta have 3 Blue Eyes. Next, I run 3 Maiden with Eyes of Blue. This card is very nice. It's a level 1 tuner. 0 attack, 0 defense. It's not really relevant at all for this card. The main reason you have it is to bring out Blue Eyes really fast. Its main effect is that if it gets targeted for an attack, or targeted at all, you can switch his battle position. Well, if it's getting attacked, you can switch his battle position, stop the attack, and you get to summon a Blue Eyes from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is already really good. But also, if it gets targeted by a card effect, you can also bring out a Blue Eyes that way. But you can only use 1 effect per turn. But again, it's just, once you have this card out, people know you're playing Blue Eyes. They won't attack into it. That's why you have to target it yourself. If they use Compulse on it, you know, it targets it, you get a Blue Eyes out, it goes back to your hand. I have a lot of cards in the spells and traps that target for that reason, so I can get Blue Eyes out really fast. And that's why I have 3. I can even search it out with 1 for 1. I just love this card because it just speeds up the deck significantly. Next, I run 2 White Stone of Legend. It's a level 1 tuner as well. I don't really use this one as much as Maiden, but I like this card for a few reasons. You know, it has 300 attack, 250 defense. It's not really relevant at all. Its effect is that if it gets sent from the field to the graveyard, or if it gets sent to the graveyard at all, you can add a Blue Eyes to your hand. Well, since you want Blue Eyes in the grave a lot, you don't really use that effect a lot, but that combo can work well with trade-in. So you get a Blue Eyes to your hand, so you can send it so you can draw 2 cards. I also like to use it as fodder for Red Eyes Darkness Metal. I know you don't get its effect that way, but it's a dragon, and that's the one way to get it out. But that's why I run 2. I don't think 3 is really necessary because you get Blue Eyes to the graveyard really fast or on the field really fast. So you don't really need to get Blue Eyes to your hand as much unless you're using it for trade-in. So that's why I just run the 2. The next card I have is another dragon, which is Parsec the Interstellar Dragon. I run 2 of them. It's a level 8. It's very good fodder for trade-in. And it's just its effect is that if you have a level 8 already on the field, you can normal summon this without tribute. So that's really good, so you can overlay right away into Tachyon. I tried it at 1 and I didn't really like that I wasn't drawing into it as much. I do draw into it a lot now that it's at 2, but again, I can be used for trade-in. And like I said, its attack and defense don't really matter, it's just fodder for an Exceed summon. But yeah, it's another light monster as well, so, and a dragon, so there's those 2. And then the next card I run is the Swordsman of Revealing Light. I run 2 of these. He's like a hand trap, kind of like Gores. If you get attacked, you don't take the damage, you just special summon him from your hand. And if the attack is less than its defense, then it gets destroyed. Each turn, the first time this card would be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. So, of course, it just has its own built-in protection. I like this for defense, and as well as bringing out another level 8. It's another target for trading, and it's another card to overlay into. So, like I said, there's a lot of level 8s in here. Next, I run 2 Honest. Of course, on any light deck, you gotta run Honest. He's a very good card. His effect is that if you're in the damage step, if your opponent attacks or if you attack, you can send Honest from your hand to your grave, and your monster gains the attack of the attacking monster. So you can get over a lot of things. Blue Eyes plus Honest can win you games sometimes. It's a very good card. Another effect it has, if it's on the field, you can put it back in your hand once per turn, I think. So it's really good. And you can also use it to overlay into overlay into rank 4s. Yeah, so those are the last of the light monsters. The next 2 cards I run are Keeper of the Shrine. I love this card. I tried it at 1 and I just immediately wanted to add a second one. It's very, very good. It has 2100 defense, 0 attack. Its attack is not relevant at all. It's a level 4, so you can overlay into rank 4s. But another reason it's a good card, it's another dragon. And its other effect is that if it's in the grave and a dragon gets destroyed on the field, it doesn't even have to be on your side of the field. If your opponent's playing dragons at all and it gets destroyed, or if your dragons get destroyed, you can special summon Keeper of the Shrine onto the field, and if the monster that got destroyed was a light, you can actually add that card to your hand if it's one of your cards. Like if Blue Eyes, for example, if it gets destroyed, you can special summon this card, add Blue Eyes to your hand if you have trade in. But that's optional, you don't have to do that. This card also counts as a double tribute for a level 8 dragon, I think. Or a dragon type monster. Yeah, so you can count as up to 2 for pretty much any dragon type monster, so you can count them as a double tribute. So it's just in one way to tribute summon Blue Eyes. Yeah, I love this card at 2. I wouldn't run 3, but 2 has just been a perfect number for me so far. The last 2 cards I run are 1 Darkstorm Dragon and 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, of course, is a staple for any dragon deck. It's a level 11, but at 2800 attack, 2400 defense. You special summon it by banishing a dragon on the field. You can special summon it, and then once per turn you can special summon a dragon from your graveyard or from your hand. So if you don't have Blue Eyes, if you have one in your grave or one in your hand, and you have a Whitestone Legend, you can banish it, special summon Red Eyes, and special summon the Blue Eyes, and that's one way to get out an 8. And if you already had the Whitestone on the field and you have a normal summon, you have Parsec in hand, you can normal summon Parsec, overlay, and do crazy combos like that. I also use Darkness Metal Dragon to bring back Tachyon. I've had it happen where Tachyon gets destroyed or Dark Matter Dragon gets destroyed. I can use Red Eye's effect to bring back Tachyon, overlay into Dark Matter Dragon, and just have another Dark Matter on the field. The last card I have is Darkstorm Dragon. It's a Gemini monster, so it counts as a normal monster in the grave. It's also another level 8, so you can use it for trading. And it also can be used with Silver Scry, so you can bring it out that way. It's mainly there for, Exceed fodder or a 2700 beater. Yeah, and also counts as another dragon. So those are all the monsters. I think there's 18 of them. Alright, let's go into the spells. I'll start off the spells. We run the 3 Silver Scry. It's a quick effect spell card that really helps the Blue Eyes deck speed up a little bit. You do send Blue Eyes to the grave a lot, and this is one way to get them back once per turn. It's pretty much like a Monster Reborn for normal dragons. So once per turn, you can special summon any normal dragon from your graveyard. Of course, the main target is Blue Eyes, but you also have Darkstorm Dragon as another target. A lot of people like to run this card at 2 or even at 1. But since I like the deck being really fast, and you do send Blue Eyes to the grave really fast, you do want to have it so you can keep overlaying into your 8s. That way you can make Dark Matter Dragon really fast. So I just feel like I have to run 3. The next card I run at 3 is 3 Traded. This card is an awesome card. It's mainly for your draw power. Yeah, you just discard 1 level 8 monster and draw 2 cards. You run so many level 8s. This card's hardly ever dead in my hand. And the combo you can do with Whitestone Legend to bring out Blue Eyes is really good. I mean, to put Blue Eyes in your hand so you can discard it to draw 2. Very good draw card. I used to run Upstart Goblin, but that card wasn't helping me as much as this card. You can run them both so you can speed it up even more. But I feel like a lot of the other spells and traps are kind of useful, so I don't really have room to add in the Upstart Goblins. But yeah, so I run 3 of that one. The next card I run is Dragon Shrine. I run it at 2. This is pretty much a Foolish Burial for dragons. If you send a dragon to the grave and it's a normal type monster, you can send another dragon. So it's like sending two. It's like using two foolish barrels. So it's like using four pretty much with both of these. Which the main combo I like to do is sending Blue Eyes, and I can either send when I send the next dragon, it can either be Whitestone the Legend or Keeper of the Shrine, because either one of those is useful in the grave. So if I need Blue Eyes in my hand, I can send Whitestone the Legend, and if I need, you know, Keeper of the Shrine in the grave, I can send him, and that way I can use him for when Blue Eyes gets destroyed, just in case I can special summon him. So yeah, it's just one way to speed up the deck and to dig through the deck really fast. Next I run 2 Forbidden Lands. This card targets, and that's kind of why I run it, so I can target Maiden. It's also very good a card to protect Dark Matter Dragon from spells and traps if they want a Torrential, or if they want a Dark Hole. I can always, you know, flip Forbidden Lands, protect this dragon, because like I said, I want to keep this the level with a rank. My Dark Matter Dragon, I want to keep it on the field as long as possible, so I can keep attacking for 4,000, and that's just one way to protect it. And also, like again, it also targets Maiden for its effect. Next I run 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. This card's pretty useful in the deck because you don't want to be dealing with floodgates. Floodgates are pretty much the end for this deck. You don't want to be dealing with lose one turn, you know, Dimensional Fissure, and other cards. I mean, floodgates like that. So at least the 2, and of course, since pendulums are going to be very prominent in this coming format, you want to make sure you can stop their scales and stuff. So you want to just have these cards for that as well. The last 2 spells I run are 1 for 1 and 1 Book of Moon. 1 for 1, you discard a card so you can special summon Maiden. That's what I mainly use it for. Yeah, you just discard, send 1 monster card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon 1 level 1 monster from your hand or deck. So I just helped you get Maiden out real fast. And you can also send Blue Eyes that way so it can be in the grave. And then of course Book of Moon targets, so you can target Maiden to use its effect. Or you can just put your opponent's monster in defense, face down defense. So that's all the spells. Now the trap lineup is kind of small because I rely more on the spells and the monsters. But one of the main ones I like is Skill Prisoner. I prefer this card over Breakthrough in this deck because, like I said, I need to protect my Dark Matter Dragon, and flipping this to protect it from being targeted from monster effects is very important. So I run the Forbidden Lands and the 2 Skill Prisoner, pretty much just to protect Dark Matter Dragon from being, you know, targeted by monster effects. Now it can stay on the field and continue with its attacking. And then also with Skill Prisoner, you can when it's in the grave during either player's turn, you can also activate it to protect a monster as well. And it also targets, so in case I want to target Maiden, I can target Maiden so I can use its effect. That way I can bring out Blue Eyes. So it's just a really good card, and you can use it more than once, just like Breakthrough Skill. And I run 2 Call of the Haunted. Call of the Haunted's there, of course, to bring back Tachyon, to overlay into another Dark Matter in case it gets destroyed. It's used to bring back a level 8 again, so you can overlay. It's just there just to bring back cards, just to make it faster again. Like I said, you always want to have that dragon out as fast as possible. Then I run Solemn Warning and Ring of Destruction. The last 4 cards that I run the deck are pretty much monster removal. Solemn Warning to stop summons or effects, and Ring of Destruction just because, you know, it's an OTK deck. You want to just be really aggressive. Just damage their life points as much as you can. And it gets rid of a problem monster. And the last 2 cards are Compulsory Evacuation Device and Bottomless Trap Hole. Bottomless Trap Hole because, you know, destroying a bunch of pendulum monsters while they're being summoned is really good, and it also gets rid of problem cards that are summoned. And Compulsory Evacuation Device because it can target, you can use it on Maiden, or you can just use it to get rid of, you know, exceeds or synchro summons that are kind of bothersome to you. But yeah, this is a very small trap lineup. That's the main deck. Let's get right into the extra deck. And of course, to start off the extra deck, we're going to start off with the main monster of the reason why it's called the Blue Eyes Dark Matter Dragon deck is number 95, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. I love this card. I run 3. Of course, the deck can still run it with 2 of them, but I've had a lot of problems sometimes with having just 2 and then having them both banished or something. You always want to have that. I always like having an extra one just in case. And because I don't really rely too much on the extra deck other than this card, it doesn't really take up a lot of room. I don't really need other cards in the extra deck. So having this card out as soon as possible is really good, and having more than one can pretty much win you the game. Because pretty much what this card does is you can bring it out by overlaying this over a Galaxy card. So of course Tachyon is the target that I have. The 4,000 attack has 0 defense. You never want to get Book of Moon with this card. That's why you have you know, cards like Forbidden Lands to protect you from that. But yeah, when it gets XYZ summoned, you can send 3 dragons with different names to your graveyard, which is very convenient for you because it's like another dragon shrine. And then your opponent has to banish 3 monsters from their deck. They get to choose them, but of course that's very pretty brutal, especially if they don't want to do that. So, and then having more than one can make you do that more than once. If you detach one of its material, you can attack 2 monsters on the field. So like I said, you can't really attack them directly if you attack a monster and attack again, like Blackluster Soldier would. But it does get to attack twice if they have 2 monsters. And at 4,000 attack, you're doing a lot of damage to the life points. Like I said, it's a very OTK based deck, very aggressive. Have to run 3. Like I said, you can probably do it with 2, but I love having 3. Then I run 2. Number 107, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon is the main card that helps you bring out the Dark Matter Dragon. You can go into this guy pretty much with any monsters in our deck, with Blue Eyes, Swordsman, Revealing Light, Parsec, you know, pretty much all of them. It has a pretty neat effect as well. Once per battle phase, at the start of your battle phase, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, negate the effects of all their face-up monsters currently on the field. Also, their attack and defense become their original attack and defense. And if you do any do any of these during the battle phase, this turn, each time an opponent's card effect resolves, this card gains 1,000 attack, and until the end of the battle phase. Also, it can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. So very, very strong card. It's like having another Galaxy Eyes, but I mainly use this card to bring out this card. And that's why I run the 2, because what happens is if I make 2, I can detach one of these, call the Haunted it back, or Red Eyes it back, and then overlay into a third one. So that's why I only need the 2. But yeah, I really love the card, and that's like the main engine other than Blue Eyes for, you know, making the deck very aggressive. The last 2 rank 8s are 1 Hieratic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis and 1 Thunder End Dragon. I hardly bring these out, but they're there as options just in case. They both can nuke the field. Heliopolis, once per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, tribute any number of monsters from your hand and or side of the field, minimum 1, then destroy an equal number of cards on the field. So it's pretty much field destruction. And Thunder End also does the same thing. It's kind of like Judgment. Once per turn, Judgment Dragon. Once per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, destroy all monsters on the field. So again, these are just to clear the board in case you need to, so you can push for the OTK. And those are the last of the rank 8s. Next, I run some rank 4s, because I do run some level 4s in here, and it's just 4 of them. 1 number 103 Ragnazero, 1 Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, 1 Gagaga Cowboy, and 1 Castel. Ragnazero, I've used it in other decks. It's pretty much, if your opponent has a monster that has a different attack, then it's original, then you can destroy it. And if they destroy this card, you can draw, if you do that, you can draw 1 card. Dark Rebellion's there. Pretty much it targets a monster on the field. You have its attack and you gain that half of attack to this card. Then 1 Gagaga Cowboy has 2 effects. If you special summon in an attack position, this card can. If this card attacks an opponent's monster this turn, it gains 1,000 attack and the opponent's monster loses 500 attack. But the main reason people use this is pretty much to go for game. If you special summon in defense, detach, you can burn your opponent for 800 just in case you know that's how close you are to winning. It just helps push for the OTK. And then last, I use Castel, the Skyblaster Musketeer, another rank 4, 2,000 attack. It has an effect where it can make a monster go in face down defense position. People mainly use it though to spin a card back into the deck. Sorry about that. Yeah, you detach both materials and you can target a card, shuffle it back in the deck. So it's very strong in that sense. You can get rid of a lot of problem cards that can't be destroyed. Now we go into the synchros. Very small lineup, of course. The Azure Eyes, Silver Dragon, and Armades Keeper of Boundaries. Armades can attack without your opponent activating anything in the damage step, so after the damage step, and that's why it's pretty good. It's better, I feel like, in Yang Zines because you can raise its attack, but 2300 can still do quite a bit of damage. Like I said, you're just trying to push for the OTK. Azure Eyes Silver Dragons are level 9. You can bring it out with Blue Eyes and Maiden, Blue Eyes and White Stone Legend. And what this card does is he's kind of like Red Eyes because he can special summon a dragon from your grave. But also when it's first special summon, none of your dragons can be targeted with effects for that turn until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's just more protection. The last two cards I run is one Stardust and one Star Eater. Stardust Dragon's level 9, 2500 attack, 2000 defense. Its effect is that during either player's turn, when a card effect is activated that will destroy a card or cards on the field, you can tribute this card, negate the activation, and if you do destroy it, during the end phase, if this effect was activated this turn and was not negated, then you can special summon this card from the graveyard. So it's just more protection, like I said. I just want to protect my Exceed as much as possible. Starters there just in case. You can make it with Red Eyes and Maiden, or Red Eyes and the Whitestone Legend. It's a 3200 attacker. It's a special summoning. It's synchro summoning, can't be negated, and they can't activate effects until after the damage step on an attack. So it's like another Armades, but just stronger. But yeah, these are just placeholders just in case I need to bring anything else. I hardly ever do bring them out. I mainly bring out, our Exceed monster. But yeah, that's the extra deck. Yeah. Alright, so that was the deck profile. If y'all liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deck profile videos. And also, if you have any comments or suggestions for me, you can leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I will have a link to them in the description below. And I appreciate everyone who took a second to watch this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.